Farm2Table Direct Show here at the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, Southeast Expo Center, McAlester, Oklahoma. And behind me over my right shoulder is Collin and Amanda Hardcastle with Hardcastle Land and Cattle Company and their Texas Longhorns. And they're currently giving a presentation about Longhorn cattle and all of that, all the things involved with that. And we're going to tune in just a little bit, let them share this little bit of information, and we'll be back. I'll be back to talk to you in a minute. We're going to watch this right now.
A little bit of history about the Texas Longhorns. So they are America's original beef. It's really kind of a hybrid breed of the Spanish cattle that were brought over, and then other English cattle that were brought into the United States that were foreign breeds at the time. And then they just slowly evolved into like what we have now as a Texas Longhorn. And right around the Civil War era time is really when they became pretty much like their own phenotype. And they really came into prominence after the Civil War because the East was desperate for beef. And there's so many people that were coming home, men that were coming home from the Civil War, needed jobs, needed work. And they figured out they could start rounding up these wild cattle and be able to start shipping them more up into Kansas. They could get on the trains, and then they were being able to be shipped out east. And so these cattle really helped revitalize the United States after being, war-torn from the Civil War, and helped revitalize like the Texas area, being in more e-commerce there for them, and be able to just help really get the United States back on their feet. It is estimated that approximately 10 million Longhorns were taken from Texas out up north and then on to the east. But then as everything keeps evolving, then fences are getting put up, free range, isn't really a thing anymore, and more importation of true British breeds are coming in, and the Longhorn starts to actually go into extinction. And this happened about 20 or so years, more like into the 1920s, we're starting to see them become more extinct. So in 1927, the Wichita Mountain Herd was started as a conservation effort to be able to revitalize this breed and to keep it from going from extinction. And there are 7 families that all of our modern day registered Texas Longhorns originate from. And those are the Butler, Peeler, Phillips, Wichita Mountain Refuge, the Marks, and Peeler families. So like all of our registered stock, you can go back through their pedigrees and be able to see where they're coming from. And there are still breeders out there that are 100% true, strict Butler cattle. And so that's really neat that you can see like where they're coming from. That means, like, again, dating all the way back to the 1920s. And then same thing with the Wichita Mountain Range. Like they do an auction every year. And so you can go back and be able to get these. And those are some of like the truest sense of going back to the original Spanish red cattle that the hybrids were formed from. All right, so skipped one. So why Longhorns? So these are actually our cattle. This is our main herd sire. This is our junior herd sire, and this is herd win iron and her calf that we have here. And so most people, their idea of a Longhorn is like what you see like at roping events, more of like a Corriente cow. They're smaller. They're not, really considered a beef breed anymore. And so why would we want to use a Longhorn? Everybody's like, they're scrawny, they're not any good, their beef doesn't taste good. But actually, Longhorn beef is leaner than other breeds and is lower in saturated fat, so it's actually really healthy for you. Longhorn beef has less cholesterol and calories than white meat. And then just beef in general, eating lean beef can help increase good cholesterol, reduce bad cholesterol levels, and that is the best source of protein, zinc, vitamin B12, and is the 3rd best source of iron in the food supply, as long as it also being a great source of selenium, which may reduce the risk of heart disease and certain types of cancer. And so that is another reason to consider Longhorns just on like the health aspects and just like a traditional commercial cattle. And then here, they actually did a study. Now, this is an older study. This was done in 1997. The Texas Longhorn Breeders Association, or Texas Longhorn Breeders Association of America, they paid Texas A&M to do a study. And they sourced random Longhorns, sent them down there. They did carcass studies on them, and they did a test through them. And this is how Longhorn beef stacked up against other sources of protein. And so you can see there that in calories, they scored lower than chicken when it came to calories. So it's even lower than a white meat. And then but with protein, it's also up there. It's like 25. The fat was 3.7, so it's definitely by far the lowest, even lower than chicken. And then for cholesterol, also is down there, much lower than other regular traditional beef cattle. And these are actually some of our carcasses. And so you can just see like the difference in the fat. And there's still, there's plenty there to be able to work with. So a lot of times people think, oh, it's lean, it's not going to have any flavor, there's not going to be anything to work with. But you can see we've got really good carcasses. And these are from total grass-fed animals. They're not grain finished at all.
These cuts are 2 weeks old.
Yeah, these are like seriously like really fresh. So yeah, this is our very last butcher date. So other benefits outside of just like the health and why you want to have them for beef, they are super easy keepers. They do great on less acreage. So especially for homesteaders that don't have, a big area, they don't have like 50 acres, 70 acres, 100 acres to run a bunch of head of cattle on. Longhorns can do more on less because they are, again, coming back from those original Spanish breeds, and they had to become, like survival of the fittest and be able to travel those long distances. Those cattle actually gain weight along the trails too because they were so good at naturally being able to metabolize everything that they were eating, whether it be like the brush, the trees. They became really good foragers. And still to this day, they're great browsers. They're good, like even if you have like wooded areas to get in there, help clear out through the brush, like they'll pull down vines. They're not near as picky as like a regular beef cow would be when it comes to like clear forage. And so really you just need to have like a quality loose mineral and quality forage is a recipe for great beef, which is true for any breed. The mineral is so important, a good loose mineral and then good quality forage. You really just can't go wrong when it comes to raising these animals. And also from how they grow up and their original genetics, they become really disease resistant. They're more parasite resistant. And another thing was Texas fever was rampant back in the Civil War era days. And so exportation of beef like outside of Texas was shut down. But again, the Longhorns, they ended up being able to be resistant to it. They were able to continue on. So while other breeds were dying out and becoming affected with Texas fever, Longhorns ended up not being that. So it's another great reason is that you don't have near the health issues with a Longhorn cow as you do with other commercial breeds. Yeah, and the heat.
All right, folks, there's just some of the information that we get here with HLC Longhorns as they talk about the many benefits of Longhorn cattle and its beef compared to other beefs. And Collin and Amanda are super educated on this, experts, if you will. They raise and breed these. They sell this pasture-raised beef here on site. They have a freezer. They've got their price charts up here. You can go to buy beeves. They've got pet food that they make out of it. They've also got something brand spanking new, Papa Jean's original barbecue sauce. So you can come on out here to the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous and come and see them back here in the back corner. You're not hard to miss. There's a Texas Longhorn back here. And you can come back here and talk to them and buy some of their products. But they've got several other products like freeze-dried treats and things that they carry in their farm store. They're completely set up and be happy to talk to you about some of these products. So come on out to the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous and come visit this amazing vendor and this amazing couple. And with that, as we always say, prepare for the unexpected and keep it local.